What's up, guys? Today I'm going to teach you the 3 types of F, okay? So it's kind of an evolution for us guitar players on how we approach the F major chord. I'm going to go through those 3 Fs in this lesson, explain what you should probably be doing for each of these Fs, at which point you should probably be trying these Fs and in what context, and of course I'll explain maybe the pros and the cons of each. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this F here. This is the F that most everybody learns at first. Okay? For all my beginners, we learn to put our first finger on the B string, 1st fret, my second finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and my third finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. And I play just those 3 notes. And if you're a complete beginner, you're probably just using your thumb, right? Now, that right there does create an effective and official F major. It's an F-A-C. So that right there does count, and it sounds great. And so when you're a beginner and you're just trying to get that F and it sucks and everyone hates it, but you can do that and then maybe go to a C, right? And then maybe to an A minor if you've learned that. The point is this F does get the job done. The pros is it's very easy, obviously. Just 3 notes. Almost anybody can finger those notes and get it right. Very common to mute this one here, the G string 2nd fret, by your 3rd finger leaning over on it, right? That whole thing. So you really got to learn to, bring it up. Keep a claw. For all your open chords, that claw is very important. Another weird tip, by the way, is I point my fingernails at my nose. That's a huge, huge help for all the students. That's with a C, it's with a G, A minor, F major, doesn't matter. With all the chords, I tend to not play like this, but turn that hand a little bit, cup the back of it, and grab that guitar. If you're a complete beginner, it's actually common to use your thumb and do that. That's okay too. Eventually, you're going to want to play with that thumb around. You'll see why later. Okay, anyways, that's F. Now, some of the common pitfalls, though, is this high E string. So you hear that. Now that still sounds fine, and it can still work in a lot of songs because that's what's an F major 7. That's what we call an F major 7. That's adding a 7 there. I want you to avoid that though and try to get rid of that now, okay? Because that's not an F. So we're going to lean that first finger over. The fleshy part should just touch the high E string. Now you've got yourself an F again, okay? Just F-A-C. Also very common to get overzealous and to hit all the strings. Just watch for it. So you got to really be careful, but you do have an effective F. So part of the pros is it's easy. The cons is it's actually not that easy because you don't have the freedom of your right hand just kind of strumming the strings. You've got to be very mindful of what strings you're on. Okay, that's F, phase 1. All right, the most common F. Now, phase 2 is typically, in fact, before I get to phase 2, that F I was just talking about, some people learn it by putting their first finger on the high E string. So adding that one, that might be a common one for you as well to begin with. That one has all the same advantages and disadvantages with the exception of that high E string now, right? That one is totally fine as well and definitely works, but it's not very much better than just that one. I think that one's just even easier. But if you want, grab that one, all right? So technically this is 4 Fs, right? 4 phases of F. But now you just have to aim and kind of be very accurate. It's all the same kind of stuff. And then whenever it comes to what I consider phase 2, it's this F here, okay? Where I've now taken my 3rd finger from that phase 1 and I bring it over to the A string 3rd fret. My pinky takes its place on the D string of the 3rd fret. So 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret. This right here is a very common F for open chord players, for singer-songwriters playing a lot of G's, F's, C's, A minors, all that stuff. The reason why I like this one is because you now have a little bit more control. That thumb mutes the high E. Your first finger mutes that thumb mutes the low E. That first finger mutes the high E, right? And now I have the freedom to kind of beat away on this chord, and I've got notes that will sound good. So part of the pros is it's really still not that bad, right? It's just these notes. It's a little addition to what we got here. So wouldn't say it's easy, but it's doable with practice. Part of the pros is you have all this control. If you're really muting everything right, if you snap to it, you're good to go. That freedom is really nice. That's what really creates dynamics and music, is that rhythm dynamics of just having that freedom to beat it hard and maybe go soft, right? And having the option to do either one. So that's what I like about that. The con is this muting is a little bit tricky. That thumb has to come around. You're gonna mute that guy. You're gonna mute that guy. So all that together, right? When you gotta play notes and mute certain notes, it's just kind of daunting. Just thinking about, your brain splitting into two different things. But it's part of the game. It's something that I want you to work on. Okay. Another con is it's very common to just do that, right? Or maybe play weak, right? So just bring that up and work out every single note. Thump, C, F, A, C. I got an F major 7 again. That's not what I want. Lean it. There we go. Now I've got an F. So watch for that. Okay. So the F major of phase number 3, the final form, if you will, of this from larva to butterfly. I don't know if that analogy was accurate, but this is a bar chord F. Yes, bar chords. Dun, 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 right? That bar chord is tricky because you're barring across the first fret, which is already very difficult to do with your first finger, and then your third finger plays the A string of the 3rd fret, your 4th finger plays the D string, 3rd fret, middle finger plays the G string, 2nd fret, and then this guy has to bar across the top of all 6 strings. Really, I'm playing with this first finger the E string 1st fret, B string 1st fret, and the high E string 1st fret, right? That takes some time. Now I've got some videos on secrets of bar chords. Go ahead and check out that link that's popping up now or down below in the description. I've got those hyperlink for you guys for extra tips on the bar chords. I'm not going to get too deep into that now. I'll touch on it a little bit, but this F is great. It's got all of the notes, right? Every note is one of the notes in an F major chord, an F, A, or a C, right? You got that nice low, meaty F bass note. So it's just really full. There's a lot going on there. It just sounds really great. So that's part of the pros, I guess. Another part of the pros is the rhythmic options that this kind of chord grants you. You can always cut and kind of jab and stuff like that. So it really offers you some extra rhythm abilities, okay? Another advantage is the fact that it's just so rich sounding, and I kind of mentioned that before, but that's a really nice aspect of it. You're getting a lot of notes in one. If you think of it, listening to one singer is great. Listening to 2 singers sing together and harmonize is, whoa. Listening to 3 harmonizes, okay. Imagine 6 singers singing one note, or one note within the F major chord. That's what you have here. So the more notes, the better, essentially, right? It's creating a lot more harmony, okay? So it's a little bit more full, more depth. The disadvantage is quite obvious. It's just difficult, dude. Bar chords are just tough. But I want you to try it. Really just take your time. And again, links below for the bar chord tips. There's plenty out there. Part of what I'll talk about now is leaning into it a little bit tends to help, tucking that elbow in. And again, pointing the fingers kind of at your nose a little bit. And that tends to help quite a bit. And it's just tough. Getting that hand strike is also a big part of it. So anyways, those are the 3 phases of F. You got the beginner F, where you got to be very careful, but you got your chord, because you got your notes. Then you got this one right here, which is a little bit better if you can really get it right. There's more to it, but now you got freedom, right? And then you got phase 3, just a full bar chord F. Now, I'm not going to say any one of those are particularly better or worse. I would say it depends on the context. This first F is better if you're a beginner, for sure, because it's not going to just kill your spirits. You're not going to feel like, well, if I go right for that, that's just going to destroy your spirits and your momentum. So go for this. It's fine. Just get it done, and then go to the next chord, or whatever that's in the song. And just get the sound of it. It's fine. Okay, we'll fix the messy stuff later. And then eventually evolve into this one, right? So the context for this is great for beginners and for getting some motivation and playing that song with the F chord. The great part about this one is you have it all right there. So I really recommend this F if you're playing a lot of open chords. right? It's all kind of there, especially with C. C and F are almost like cousins. They're always kind of together in some way, and they're very similar, but they're different. So that right there is a very common practice I'll have a lot of my students do, is taking an F, this F, to a C. Really, really helpful for not only actually what's practical, what you're going to see in music, but also it's just going to be really nice as an exercise because it gets that muscle memory working for both chords. They're not that different. Okay, so anyways, love that one. You'll see me playing that one a lot when I'm playing open chords and singing and all that stuff. And then this one right here, the context in which I'd use this one is if I just wanted to have a fuller sounding F like I sang before, right? Or if I was doing something a little bit more with bar chords. So maybe that chord progression would be an F major to a B flat to a C. Well, in that case, I'm going to go for bar chords because that B flat, only real way to play that is with a bar chord. So I might as well just make it all bar chords, right? You don't have to, but that's kind of my logic. So at least I'm not moving a ton. Some of the best players you'll ever see are those guys who just barely move, right? But they're playing everything right. And so that's part of it. That efficiency is a huge part of what's great about, in particular in this context of F. Another thing I'll do is like, Jack Johnson stuff, right? So control, man, I love it. You just get total control of all 6 strings, so you can really control the noise and what you're producing in the song. And that right there is essentially just the whole explanation of the 3 kinds of F major. Hopefully this helped you guys to differentiate which one you should be doing, which one is right, how to do it, the context, and hopefully it clears a lot of confusion for you guys. If you enjoy it, I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel, ring that bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, and also leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to know. Let me know what you want to learn, any songs, concepts. I love doing this for you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next video.